What is on the other side of fear? Is not everything that you've always truly wanted on the other side of fear. So why is it not a good sign when fear comes up? It means you are getting closer, you are getting warmer to everything you truly want. I would love for you to, in this video, change the perception you have about fear so that you can actually look fear in the eye and see it as inviting, as a great sign, as not something to take your cues from or to get lost in, but just something that signifies, I am being challenged. I am on the right path. Right beyond that edge of all of those fears, there is my true self waiting. It just reminds me of a scene within the Dune movies, Dune, and it goes something like, I must not fear. I must not fear. It's like the mind killer. I will allow this fear to move through me. And when it has moved through me, I look back at its trail and I see that it has left nothing behind. And yet I remain. And can we apply that to our daily lives so that when fear comes up, we allow it to naturally move through, just like heavy rain or bad weather or fog. These are just weather circumstances. They come and they go. Yet you remain. Wherever you go, whatever has happened to you, you as that I am principle, that awareness that cannot be touched or scathed by anything in this dreamscape, is always there. But you will only find that out if you permit these fears to move through you, and if you actually get excited when these fears come up. Because they have shown us, some scientists, they showed us that fear and excitement is the same signal. It's the same frequency. Only one of them is filtered through the idea of lack, that I'm a person, that I am unsafe, that I might lose something, or people might judge me, or anything along these lines having to do with safety and security. But you didn't come here to be stopped by the ideas of safety and security, which you just picked up from society anyway. So why not have a positive relation towards fear? Most successful people, if you trace what has made them successful, is first and foremost a strong belief in themselves, but also that they didn't allow those fears or those doubts to stop them. They still charted their course. When the fear came up, they kept in mind the bigger perspective, the greater vision, which in a sense, this is also why it's helpful to have something greater to aim for something high, to be courageous or devoted to something. Because if that is the case, then all of those fears will be put into contrast and they don't seem so big anymore. When you know you are on a mission, when you know you're living your purpose, you just expect it. And just like those waves that come in the water, if you brace for them, if you expect them, then they can have far less of an impact on you. So it's good to know that you'll be challenged on your path, that fears will arise, and that there's nothing to fear from fear itself. It is totally fine. It's just signifying to you that you are believing in something that is not really true. That is why the fears do not feel good. And it doesn't negate common sense that if you're in a dangerous situation, you will get yourself out of that situation. But all of these fears that we have developed in our society have come mainly because we've had it so easy. We have been able to develop these anxieties and these fears, which in the past you didn't have time for that. You were busy surviving or protecting your tribe. So now we have the luxury of like having these emotional fears or anxiety. And for sure, it can feel so crippling. I can attest to that. It feels so crippling. It can feel so paralyzing. But within this channel, we are focused on what is true. And fear, most fear, I'm not talking about the fears of stepping away when a train is coming, which is more like an instinct. But they are just not true. Those fears are not true. And they're coming up because you are ready to see through them. Have you not noticed that usually you're quite okay, you're good, but then as soon as something comes up that challenges you, like all of these fears and these negative thought patterns, they come up again. But this is a great sign. You actually want to go there. And of course, be discerning of when it's actually good to go there, but also stretch yourself a little bit. Be a little bit more courageous. Be a little bit more confident. And see that fears are actually a great sign. And that when these fears come up, you can be almost like poised, like a cat, waiting for a mouse to strike. And you're just not allowing the fears, the suggestions to distract you from your focus, which in this case of the mouse is, of the cat, is catching the mouse. And in your case, when fear comes up, it is still to stay true to your vision, to your directive. And you do not want to stray from this. A single iota, not a single inch. You want to be true through and through, so that really nothing can scare you. Not even fears as they arise within your consciousness. You stay aware. You stay true of what actually resonates for you, what's actually the bigger picture. You came here to face all of these fears. You actually came here knowing you would be haunted by all of these anxieties, these doubts, these insecurities. But yet you still came here because you knew that it's not who you truly are. You're so much more powerful than these human brainwaves, these ideas, which are just like little thought vibrations in your head, which makes you perceive the world in a scary way. But I'm trying to let you know that that is not real. If you look at it, it is not real. And we can do that right now in a safe setting, if you wish, by just conjuring up a fear that you have. Could be anything. Just try to think of a recent moment in which maybe something challenged you or you felt a little bit insecure or anxious. And just go back into that moment and see, what was I actually afraid of? What was actually making me do this? And just look at that with a childlike innocence, with a curiosity and with a loving attitude. Just be curious, like, what am I actually believing in that is making me so wobbly in a sense? And take your time with this. Pause the video if you have to, go on this little exploration, really see, okay, what is it that I am afraid of? Am I afraid, for example, for what other people think of me? Am I afraid for the little brainwaves, their little opinions that they have about me? What am I fearing that will happen? Will they judge me? Then what can happen? Will I be ostracized? Will I be crucified? Will people throw stones at me or old vegetables as they did in the Middle Ages? And by investigating this, you will see that pretty much all fears are a fallacy. We are afraid of them because we're afraid of certain parts of us dying or being exposed. But what if I tell you, maybe a bold statement, to me it's not, but that you can't die? I'm not talking about your personality, I'm not talking about your body. Those will for surely one day end. But there's something about you that has no beginning, it has no end. Nothing can touch it. It is free. It is who you are. It is this I am principle that we're talking about. And the more you recognize this, the more you become aware of this, the greater your courage will be within this dream to just play your heart out, to see it's just a dream. It is just a play. And then within the play, it will reflect your level of fearlessness, of being courageous. And then it doesn't matter. You can go anywhere within the dream. You can look at all the scary monsters, even the collective ideas that we hold that are seemingly scary. and to face those. And then imagine that. The greater conviction you build in this and the positive reaction every time you have as fear arises, imagine what it would be like to walk fearlessly through this dream, through your life, not being afraid, not keeping yourself small in interactions, but just being open, being radiant, being free. Letting honor dictate your actions. Let not these little thoughts that you picked up dictate what you do, because it keeps you from being in integrity. It keeps you from being honorable. It keeps you from living, tasting, touching everything you came here to live, taste, and touch. You came here to live powerfully, truly, lovingly. And this fear is an obstacle. And the obstacle can only stay in place when we don't really want to look at it, when we distract ourselves with constant stimulation. So my invitation is to change your relationship to fear, to see it as a positive sign, and to increase your confidence in who you truly are, and that you're always already free, and that you always have the free will to decide how you respond to each moment. So even if fear arises, or you have bodily reactions, or insecurity, or doubts, or fears, you still always, my friend, always have the choice to, instead of reacting to that unconsciously and making yourself small and trying to run away, you respond to it. You respond to it from a state of strength, of ease, of knowing you are okay no matter what happens. You're good. You can allow these emotions, these sensations, these vibrations, just sensations, just vibrations. You're good. Sensations really, truly have never touched you. You can allow these to move through you, even if they come with certain thoughts like, oh, I'm so unworthy, I cannot do it, I'm such a loser. And sometimes I still get these suggestions as well. But I just notice, like, I can permit these. I can allow these. They are just suggestions. I can still use my free will to decide what I want to decide upon. And I no longer want to decide to be ruled by these fears. They are not native to my spirit. They have nothing to do with my IMX journey other than encouraging me to be more courageous, to be more truthful, to be more honorable, to be more precise and clear. Because in that clarity, in that conviction of knowing who you truly are, there is no fear. But we might have to go through that valley of the shadow of death before we realize, okay, there's truly nothing to fear. No matter what happens, I'm okay. And to get more confident in that and take that step by step. And you can book a free one-on-one with me. They are donation-based. You can book a free one-on-one with me and we can explore this topic. We can look at your fears and we can see where they're coming from so that we can dissolve them. They show themselves like really scary monsters. But then if you take them off, it's just like two dwarfs standing on top of each other trying to scare you. It's nothing to be afraid of. And I really want you to live your life like that. With an open heart, with an open gut, with an open mind, just ready to receive and live life to the absolute fullest. That is what IMX is about. That is my message to the world. And I hope this is landing for you. And that this can give you a little bit of inspiration on your path to remember that, yes, I cannot be touched. I am unfuckable. No matter what the fear is, let it come. Allow it. Test me. Bring me greater conviction. Bring me greater courage. Bring me all of these great qualities that fear allows us. Through that contrast of fear, we become more courageous, more loving, more generous, and more true. Don't blink, my friend. Don't flinch, because the one you truly are never blinks, never flinches, neither at the dark nor the light. You are true, through and through, always in always. Remember that. And stay tuned for more videos on this topic. Bye-bye.